Welcome back, everybody, to another crocodilian tear-filled episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. That's right, today we're jumping into the courtroom once again to witness Ghost Adventure star Aaron Goodwin's wife get sentenced for plotting to kill him. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today.
Mr. Brown, Mr. Hammer, this is a date time set for entry of judgment and imposition of sentence. Is there any legal cause or reason why judgment should not be pronounced again for sentencing?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
The court's reviewed the May 15, 2025 pre-sentence investigation report, as well as the sentencing memorandum filed by the defendant on May 29, 2025, as well as all of the letters and given. And it's the court's understanding this is no recommendation except the state has the right to argue facts and circumstances.
Yes, sir.
And is there going to be a victim speaker with you?
There is Aaron Goodwin's here. He's just in the anteroom. He's coming in right now, so we're going to ask that he speak last for the statute.
Aaron!
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's right, Aaron Goodwin's going to be taken to stand, the victim, the sad and heartbroken husband who was being plotted to be killed the whole time while working on a show for Ghost Adventures, if I remember correctly.
You know,
There he is.
I spoke to opposing counsel, I even spoke to Aaron about it. One of the reasons we're not making a recommendation as to sentencing is we kind of acknowledge that, look, this is someone who doesn't have a record, right? Who's never kind of done anything like this before. But the concern I've always had is when you look at the facts of the case, they are serious.
Imagine coming into the courtroom and seeing the love of your life shackled up because you had no idea she was trying to kill you. Man, that is crazy. I can't even imagine, but one thing's for sure and two things for certain. Me personally, I'd be feeling great seeing her where she's at, and I'd be pushing for every drop of smoke there is.
The concern I've always had is when you look at the facts of the case, they are serious.
Of course.
This is not a situation where maybe an unhappy wife simply kind of made a fleeting text that said, "Ugh, like I can't stand my marriage, like I wish he was just gone," or something along those lines. It was far more than that.
Even saying it like that's extreme.
The concerns that I have about the case are when Mr. Amato's phone is seized and they look into it, what you can see is on October 2nd of 2024, there is a text exchange between Ms. Goodwin and Mr. Amato, who is a convicted murderer out of Florida, where they are expressing their love for one another.
Wow.
She is acknowledging that her husband would never accept a divorce. She says things like, "I'm so anxious, I just can't believe this is happening, like, what the F? How did I get to this point? Am I a bad person?" And when Mr. Amato asks, "Well, why do you say that?" And she's like, "Because I'm choosing to end his existence, not divorce." Those are very serious comments.
Completely end his existence. I mean, just hearing this is making me sick to my stomach. Breaks my heart for Aaron, you know, it really does.
When you couple that with, on that same date, she is relaying information that Mr. Goodwin was in Barstow, staying at a Best Western, provided him pictures of what he looked like, the car that he was driving.
I don't see not one crocodilian tear! This girl's full of baloney! BOLOGNA, in case you didn't know. And don't even blame it on those shabby glasses catching the tears, making me sick to my stomach.
When you couple that with, on that same date, she is relaying information that Mr. Goodwin was in Barstow, staying at a Best Western, provided him pictures of what he looked like, the car that he was driving.
Wow.
And that there's discussions that Mr. Amato's buddy named Gordo is going to take care of the situation.
Gordo?
Facts become more serious. And even from those text messages that talk about setting aside, $11,000 for Gordo, and ultimately this investigation reveals about $60,000 was sent from Ms. Goodwin over to Mr. Amato, or associates of Mr. Amato. And I know the sentencing memo kind of talks about, well, maybe some of that was blackmail, but when you have the following day, you have Amato on that phone texting Gordo being like, hey, is it done yet? Hasn't been done. All of that's very serious. And the one thing I didn't see in that report was simply, at no point does Ms. Goodwin ever try to claw it back. At no point does she say something like, you know what, I was just kidding, I don't really want to go through. Like, you don't ever see anything along those lines. And that really is ultimately the concern for the state about the seriousness of it. And so look, whatever you think is appropriate is certainly appropriate. I just think at the end of the day, we don't see these solicitations very often. Like, you know, I handle murders, we don't really get solicitation cases that often.
I was locked up with a few individuals with this kind of crime, and they all had money. The ones I met, they always had coffee too, so if I ever ran out, I'd go straight to the murder for hire cell. And his coffee tastes better for some reason. Same damn stuff though. Maybe because it's from a rich cell. But once again, this is a very frightening and sickening situation, so let's lighten the mood with an informational courtroom analysis. First and foremost, an American and state flag, paired with the Roman Centurion bathhouse tiles. Wow. And it looks like they're keeping it classy with the furniture and the trim. Definitely mahogany. And for anybody that doesn't know, it's a strong, usually reddish brown, heavy wood of a West Indian tree that is widely used to make furniture. But to see it paired with Elon Musk's false moon lighting and the inmates' Crocs that match the tumbler top is blowing my mind. Is that a 1992 foldable retractable long neck projector from Radio Shack? Goodness gracious, I've seen one of those go for like $20K on Antique Roadshow. But man, this court's really taken everything into consideration, even the handicap. I've never seen rails like this in a courtroom. Anybody could get up these stairs. And last but not least, not a clock in sight. That way nobody knows how much time they're exactly sentenced to. Man, this court, I'd give it a strong 9. That long neck Radio Shack really could bring it up to a 10 actually.
A lot of that's a lot of detail, a lot of locations, and a lot of money that I think elevates this to a certain level of consideration.
Yeah, it was definitely planned to go down for sure.
I'm not going to speak for Aaron. I think Aaron is going to share with you how this has really impacted him, and I don't think I can do that justice, but I will submit it to the discretion of the court.
Your Honor, and I'd just like to comment briefly on the facts. I know he wrote a longer sentencing memo, and I appreciate your patience because I know you read it. With regards to the facts, there is, to me, a clear line where Ms. Goodwin had abandoned the conspiracy. We may disagree, and I don't know what we do with the state, whereas who initiated the idea of, the murder. But with Ms. Goodwin, it's clear that as of November, she had completely distanced herself from the group. She had moved on from it. There was very limited contact. She had nothing further to do. No efforts were made, and the phone exchange ends. I'd also comment, and I know we do in the sentencing memo, that neither Mr. Amato or Mr. Gordo, as we sit here, have ever been charged with a crime. So it's just Ms. Goodwin who sits here today, and as far as I know, there's no intention to ever file charges against either of those two individuals.
Now, I don't know if this part became public or not, but if I were to guess, those guys didn't get charged because, if I remember correctly, all this was unraveled because there was a cell phone inside the inmate cell, and the COs found it and started going through it, and they seen all the messages, contacted proper authorities, and got the ball moving. But why weren't the inmates charged with this? If I were to guess, just a guess, because I don't want to put nothing on nobody's name now, but they probably started rolling on her as soon as they got caught with the cell phone. Probably said, look, bro, I wasn't being serious. I was just trying to make some money off or get a quick 11 grand. I was never planning on going to kill dude. And Gordo ain't even real. I made him up. Right? So I don't know, but there's a few reasons on why the inmates ain't going to be charged. But at the same time, I'm sure they got in-house infractions and went to, under investigation, lockdown 23-1.
With Ms. Goodwin, it's clear that as of November, she had completely distanced herself from the group. She had moved on from it. There was very limited contact. She had nothing further to do. No efforts were made, and the phone exchange ends. I'd also comment, and I know we do in the sentencing memo, that neither Mr. Amato or Mr. Gordo, as we sit here, have ever been charged with a crime. So it's just Ms. Goodwin who sits here today, and as far as I know, there's no intention to ever file charges against either of those two individuals. I think it is clear that Ms. Goodwin, after the initial, payment, was being extorted. That she was threatened. There was a call to the police that was outlined in the sentencing memo, and that was the reason for the additional payments. It wasn't a continued, it's paying more and more. We really got to make this happen. There was the initial payment, and after that, the circumstances had substantially changed. But as you know, the state mentioned, and you look today, Ms. Goodwin is a person who prior to this had never been in any kind of trouble of any kind.
And that's why she distanced herself. It wasn't because she had a change of heart. It's because she realized the inmates ain't doing nothing but extorting her ass. Like I just said, man, I promise I ain't seen this clip. And I have not done a deep dive into this story besides that first video I did on it, which I probably should, but I like to keep my reactions authentic hearing it in the courtroom. It kind of harms me sometimes when I want to break down certain situations I wish I knew beforehand, but it's all making sense now. Those inmates were definitely just going to extort her clown ass the whole time. Oh, man.
She did what you would expect someone to do when they are arrested for something. She took full responsibility.
Of course.
I think we're 92 days from the day she was arrested to the day we're before Your Honor, which on a case like that, I would submit is very fast, and that's because Ms. Goodwin said, I don't want to make this any tougher for Mr. Goodwin. I want to take responsibility. I know what I did was wrong. Again, as we sit here, you can see the back row. That's Ms. Goodwin's family, some friends as well. She's got tremendous family support. They love her. They would have gladly, this was not an unreasonable bail that can never be posted. She recognized that there should be some punishment element to this as well. So she sat in custody for 92 days when the family would have gladly posted the bond to get her out of custody, but she wanted to come before the court and let everyone here know that she understands there are consequences for her action.
Making the same faces with not one damn teardrop. Not even a dusty crocodilian. Completely dry atmosphere up here. It's like the surface of Mars. But look, I forgot what I was even gonna damn say. Oh yeah, that's right. This case did go by pretty quick. When I seen it pop up in my feed this morning, I was completely shocked that, you know, it went through the process so fast. Sentencing, right? And it makes sense from what he just said. She doesn't want to make this a long, drawn-out thing and put stress on Aaron. It seems even though she has a dry face, she's taking full responsibility for what she did and is throwing herself at the mercy of the courts. I can't wait to see what she's sentenced to.
We would submit that she's an excellent candidate for probation. Many of those reasons are outlined in the sentencing memo.
Probation?
She's never been in trouble before. She's going to move. She has no need to have further
She's
contact
got to pay
with
something.
Mr. Goodwin. They don't have children in common. She's going to move. If she is given the opportunity of probation, she would immediately try to transfer out of state, live with her family, continue with her education. We talked in the sentencing memo about her physical health. She has very serious health issues. She's not going to be able to get the proper treatment while she is in custody. She has one of the most painful illnesses you can have. If Your Honor felt that she did need a little bit more, you know, we don't think 92 days has gotten her attention. She's never going to be in front of Your Honor for any kind of violation. She's never going to have any further problems. We, of course, would understand there would be stringent conditions. She has no contact with Mr. Goodman, and she has no need to ever have contact with them. We would just ask the court to give her one opportunity at probation for someone who's lived the life that she's lived, has one terrible mistake, but that's the only mistake she's made, and that she immediately tried to take full responsibility for it. Before she was arrested, she had clearly abandoned any efforts to be part of that conspiracy, and we think she's worthy of probation, and I'd like to have her say a few words as well.
Hey, the attorney did pretty well, but you know who has the last word? Prosecution, man. And those paintings that they paint are detailed to make sure that you get smoked. Ooh, this could be juicy.
Firstly and most importantly,
Bobby,
I
chill!
apologize to Aaron. I'm so immensely sorry for the pain and anxiety I've caused you, and the betrayal you undoubtedly and rightfully feel by my actions. I need you to know that I will always hold love for you. I genuinely pray you find your joy and peace again, and I will bow out of your life forever to hopefully ease that process. I'm sorry I broke us, and I am consumed with regret every day. My absolute promise to you is that you will never see or hear from me. I intend to leave the state of Nevada, and you and anyone else will never be in danger of me ever again. Secondly, I'd like to apologize to my parents. My actions are not a reflection of how you raised me with unwavering love and support, and I know I'm better than this.
Next, I'd like to apologize to the court. I recognize and understand my stupidity, the terrible nature of my crime against Aaron, my regrettable choices, and monumental lapse in judgment. This is my rock bottom, and I'll never forgive myself.
You need to be apologizing to my viewers for not shedding one tear.
Prior to my arrest, I was taking steps toward mending my marriage and correcting my mistakes that led me here.
No, you weren't.
Now, having spent 92 days in jail, I've had plenty of time to reflect on my foolishness, and I'm that much more committed to never getting in trouble again and doing better in every aspect of my life, especially with my mental health. I am truly ashamed, embarrassed, and disappointed with myself, and am deeply and sincerely remorseful for my actions. This is not a reflection of who I am, nor the person I want to be.
Yes, state will call Aaron Goodwin.
Oh, Aaron, my heart goes out to you, bro. I think I might cry. Bobby, don't you dare get your hand away from that button. Don't you dare.
You do solemnly swear or affirm, under the pains and penalties of perjury, the testimony you're about to give in this action will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Oh, man.
Will you please state and spell your first name?
They brought him the tissue box immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, this is real love, real tears. You know, if I were to guess, I don't think they brought the Kleenex box to him that quick unless he was already crying. If he ain't crying, then that's kind of disrespectful, man. I'm a man. I don't need that. Throw it back at him. Get this out of my face, man, Your Honor. Smoker.
Aaron Goodwin, A-R-O-N-G-O-D-W-I-N.
Thank you.
Oh, man. He can barely spell his name. How's he going to say anything up here? He's hurt, man. He's hurt. I'm hurt. I'm crying inside.
Sorry. Your Honor, for 7 years I thought I was in the most loving relationship and marriage with my best friend. Someone who I trusted with whole heart and laughed with every day. Someone who made me feel like I was like I was her one and only. I was loyal to her and did whatever I could to make her happy. I thought we were something very special, and so did everyone else. After finding out she was cheating on me in September of last year with multiple men, including the man going by the name Vincent, who turned out to be Grant Amato, I gave her the option of divorce where we could try to work it out because I love her so much. She felt so bad and I didn't want to lose me. Every day she made me feel more special, and she was so sorry. Now this girlfriend, she put a hit out to kill me more than once.
Oh, no!
Got blackmailed and spent almost all our savings to keep it quiet. And fell more in love with Amato. They even got spiritually married.
What?
And now I was called the first husband.
Oh,
They
my.
talked until she was arrested. And she sought his help to kill me.
I gotta get the tears off before we move forward. They're all over my shirt. This is sad and absolutely unbelievable. Look, she ain't even sad or sympathetic no more now that he's speaking. She's just kind of trying to keep that squirmed face up.
This has led me to fear my life. I've hired armed security for weeks,
Hey, man,
not knowing if it
Aaron.
was over or not. Always looking over my shoulder and having to go through therapy, and even trying to understand any of it. It's like a heartbreak no one should go through in life. I can't trust anything anymore. I cry every day. I feel so alone. She grew me into a person I never was. I will always wonder why. But worst of all, she lied to me every day. I didn't know about any of the murder plot, the hitman, or the blackmail until the detectives told me after she was arrested. Now behind bars, she's trying to manipulate through lawyers and trying to silence me and not come here today. So I wouldn't be standing here. So, in honor, Your Honor, this person over here, I don't know at all. Not one bit. The fact that this person did all this to me with no worry, no care, or love in her heart for me. I will never feel the same. I will never feel safe or be the same because of what she did. Especially when she gets out one day. She claims she's remorseful now that she's been caught, but there at no time before did she ever try to stop this from happening. She tried to have me killed. She gave my location to people. Truly believed we were trying. I truly believe with people she truly believed were going to harm me. She even asked for the updates on the murder. And this was all when I was just her loving husband. I thought, whether she got minimum or maximum time, I still won't feel safe whenever she's released.
She was checking for updates on his death like an Amazon package.
I feel like this deserves prison time. I don't know.
What? Of course it does. Life sentence. Huh.
So
Possibly
just need your
death,
hand,
the
Ron.
chamber.
Thank you.
That suit is wonderful. Aaron, I love it. You did wonderful. You'll be okay. And you'll find true love one of these days. Very soon. I can see it in your future.
By virtue of your plea of guilty on April 22nd of 2025, in accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, you hereby are judged guilty of the offense conspiracy to commit murder, category Bravo felony. In addition to the $25 administrative assessment fee, $150 DNA testing fee to include testing for genetic markers, and $3 administrative assessment fee, the court does now sentence you to a minimum term of 36 months and a maximum term of 90 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. What is the correct term, sir?
92 days, Your Honor.
92 days correct term, sir. Thank you.
Wow.
And all the name of counsel, please. Have a great day.
36 dusty months?
Is anyone else ready?
36 dusty months? That ain't no smoking. That's a damn slap on the wrist. What is that, 3 years? And she could get a maximum of 90. She ain't gonna get that because she's obviously gonna be good in prison. She don't look like no troublemaker, man. So, 3 dusty years. Unreal to me, honestly. The guys I've seen go through these situations, I can't remember exactly, but they got way more time than that. But my prayers go out to old Aaron in this situation. You know, it's going to be hard to trust anyone after something like this. My question to y'all, though, was justice served? But I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed the update and stay tuned. Like I said, I actually had a story about an inmate dying in prison in a very gruesome way coming your way. So stay tuned for that. And the only way to do that is by subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and setting it to all. In the meantime, though, as always, y'all be easy, be safe, and more importantly than anything, stay free.